That's twice Estrada's done that for you with your back against the wall. Where's that coming from? Did you see this?
Rosie really, excuse me. He's pitched like that all year. We've seen him take a couple no-hitters late into the games and very durable. He gives up minimal hits, that kind of thing. But the fact that it's an elimination game, he really rose to the occasion. But he's looking pretty. He's a free agent. The timing's just perfect for him, I would believe. But he really had everything going. When he's sticking that fastball, nice little curveball, and his overpowering changeup, and he shut down a good hitting hot team.
Next to you.
After giving up a pile of runs the last few days, can you put into perspective the scene, the backdrop, and what it means for Estrada to do what he did?
Well, yeah. Everybody's aware that you lose, you're on your way home. And it's been a tremendous season for us. If it was to end abruptly, you feel a little sour. And but really, he's a guy we really leaned on all year. Of course, the games that throughout the year aren't what like this one was, but he's really a guy that just really carried us in a lot of ways. But he's a master at what he does. It doesn't always look pretty, but he's mastered it.
Okay. Ken?
John, how close was Price to coming into this game?
Well, yeah, he wasn't far off. They got a couple guys on, and we got to Hosmer. We figured that was, we got him going. That was a shot, maybe. Hosmer's hit Marco a little bit. I got my attention. What was it the sixth inning? Gave up a couple long fly balls. That's kind of what you look for out of Marco, because he's a fly ball guy, and when they get him, it's usually home runs. So that kind of got my attention a little bit. But then he bounced back after that in a couple really strong innings, and to get later into the game. So yeah, so that really worked out perfect. The fact we didn't need David tonight, so he can throw Friday, and really, the way our pitching staff, really the bullpen was lined up today for what we had, it couldn't happen any better. And my biggest concern early in the game, when you knew he was on, giving up one hit, was is this going to be the big question? It's the ninth inning in a 1-0 game. What are you going to do? And it's not a good feeling.
John.
The big hits are obvious, but the walks to Bautista and Encarnacion in that inning must have been huge. What about the emotion in the dugout as those were progressing? They were long at bats, especially Bautista's. Can you just describe what was going on there?
Yeah, well, those guys they were locked in, and they were enjoying that. You really go back to the first game of the series. Volquez, in his sixth inning, he walked the first two guys, and then turned it up and punched a couple guys out and got out of the inning in his final inning. It was very similar today, except we were able to get to him, and. You look back, we've been talking about Tulo, his big home runs in really, last-ditch game type games. Then the same thing tonight, the big bases clearing double. So he's, there's a lot of good things happening. But, that really doesn't surprise me. But, that number 5 is our magic number. You get to that, we do okay.
Over here.
John, who's going to be your starter in Game 6?
That'll be Price.
Over here. There's 2 on the side over here.
There had to be some relief for your hitters, too, especially getting the early run off Volquez after the shutout, and then to get big hits off the tough KC bullpen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? They're probably the toughest in the big leagues, that group out there. Colabello got us on the board. Colabello had a home run off him earlier in the year, and that's no easy feat. I think it was definitely a breaking ball tonight. But, Chris is a good hitter. And we definitely needed that. And, a lot of times, especially in a game like this, you score first, even though it's not a lot of runs, you can breathe a little easier, You're not scrambling. And usually a lot of times the team that scores first ends up okay. Okay.
Jeff?
John, what was the difference between Marco tonight and the Marco you saw earlier in the series?
Well, I thought, he's got pinpoint control. That's a big part of his success, and I thought he was sticking his fastball much better tonight. Although he was pretty good the other night, they ambushed him a few times. first pitches and capitalize on that. Otherwise, he really gave us a chance to win that night. We just couldn't solve Volquez. But yeah, I mean, tonight wasn't that night. I mean, everything he threw up there, was right where he wanted it. So, and of course, Navi did a great job with him again. So,
The last row.
John, just to follow up to the question about the walks, I mean, you guys are known as being a home run hitting team, but the plate discipline has kind of really been there for you guys all year, too. How impressed are you that approach is kind of stuck around when you guys backs against the wall, elimination games, when guys might otherwise press?
right, yeah, we didn't panic, that's for sure. And really, but that's what we do. And that's why that's what makes our offense so good, really. Guys, they'll take their walks, and it sets other things up for other guys. Take their walks, but they're still free swingers. So it's kind of in a lot of ways an odd combo. So yeah, that's big. So they were all nice and relaxed, very focused.